Alright, welcome back to Shaving with Fuzzy. I'm Fuzzy. Hi y'all. Early on Monday morning. Let me check real quick and make sure that this thing, looks like it's recording. But anyway, been a little while since we did a video. And I kind of let the old beard grow out. Remember last time I let it grow out, it was kind of a work protest thing because they were telling me I couldn't just wear my goatee, which was, interesting. But anyway, that particular supervisor is gone. And so I've been able to have my goatee for a while, but it got a little cool and, hunting season and everything. And I used to grow a beard for hunting season. Used to be a lot redder than this, by the way. Now I said, well, it was somewhere early November and I decided to grow me a beard through. So it's been, a little under 2 months, but we're going to get rid of it. Go back to the goatee because that's, kind of what I like. So, I was going to take my glasses off and put my contacts in, but we're just going to do this with glasses. Got my genuine vintage Williams mug here with some good dark roast in it. Dave in Kentucky there hooked me up with that at one time. If you don't know Dave, you should know Dave. He's a good guy. So what I think we're going to do, I think last time when I shaved the beard, I just took the Micromatic clog proof and just went at it. I think what we're going to do this time is actually use a set of clippers. Yes, Fuzzy uses electric clippers to, with a guard on it to keep things. I'm not all scissor and comb. Why am I not? I don't know. Just never have done it that way. But anyway, I think we're going to use some clippers here and we'll clip it down and then we'll get on to the shave. Now, I'm not real sure if I want to, when I post the video, I've never really done any video editing, but you never know. But anyway, we're going to go ahead see if we can run this down a little bit. Actually, that's not going to be a whole lot of difference even with this lower guard. I thought I'd use this lower guard and it would just, all right. We'll get it down a little bit here and then we'll making a nice mess on the front of our shirt if nothing else. Well, I ended up sleeping most of yesterday. Woke up with a killer headache, so I said, well, I'll take a cup of Tylenol and go ahead and shave. I was going to shave last night, did a video. It just didn't work out. I ended up, did take a lot of it off. What a mess. Glad I got a broom. I ended up going and working in Alexandria last night, Saturday night, now it's Sunday night, so yeah, Saturday night, I ended up being in Gonzales, which is, folks who've been around a little while know that's not that unusual of a thing to do. Go up there and help them out, and company pays mileage and travel time, and it's at a little bit better pay rate and all this kind of good stuff. So it's definitely worth going up there, but it is a 2-hour drive up and back, and then of course, as will happen, my relief was running behind. Good guy though. He had just it's not his normal shift. He'd forgotten he was supposed to work it, and he was actually at his other job. And when we called him, or when the boss man called him, I didn't. He said, "Oh, that's right," and he jumped in his car and he came over and got there pretty quick. So he's a good guy, and things happen. I was out of there less than an hour late. Made it back home. The last time I went over there, it was so foggy when I was coming back home. We've been battling fog here for several weeks, and it was so foggy that it took me an extra hour to get home. It was quite foggy. All right, so we kind of got that cut down, and I'm not 100% sure if the razor I chose is going to be the best for this, but it's what we're going to choose. My thinking is razor's a razor, blade's a blade. If it's got a sharp blade and it's a razor, we should be able to use it. We might have to rinse it a lot, but we will. And we're going to go single edge injector, and cause that's Fuzzy's favorite thing. And I have one that a lot of people don't have, a vintage. They only made them a year, the Schick F. And I haven't scrubbed it up and cleaned it up. A lot of my razors look like they're razors to get used, because they are. And I'll go and clean something up every once in a while, but basically I don't. This razor was gifted to me here a while back by an anonymous Very, very, very good friend of mine. Shaving friend of mine. I've never met him, but I have a lot of shaving buddies that I've never met. But anyway, so that's what it's going to be. It's going to be the Schick F. I've got my favorite brush, Smog 1305, with the handle that was customized by Miss Luna many years ago now. Aqua Velva, which is going to be good. And if you haven't figured it out yet, some of you may have, some of you may not, it's going to be a signature shave, Vintage Williams. So I guess since they quit making it, everything's going to be Vintage Williams. But this is the old stuff. It was tallow first. And I've still got tons of it. I've got tons of the vintage Colgate, and everything's good. You have to ignore my little spot right there. I got something under there, and I've already got an appointment with a dermatologist. I've had one pretty bad malignant melanoma cut out. Scars right there. And looks like we may have to go have some more work done. But anyway, I got an appointment with a dermatologist to check that out. Hopefully it's just a sore that's not wanting to heal. But he thought he was going to be Superman, and since I wasn't feeling particularly bad, I was taking care of my diabetes myself. And apparently I didn't do a very good job of it. So anyway, we're back on the diabetic meds and all that kind of good stuff, and being more careful with what we eat than what we were being. And that was my Valentine's Day present, by the way, in 2006 was Happy Valentine's Day, you're diabetic, which my mom already knew. As usual, I fought it all I could, but she knew. Anyway, here we go. We're going to see if this old Schick F can take care of this here heavier beard. I expect it to be a process with a lot of rinsing and carrying on. So there we go. All righty. I heard that the Shave Den was closing down. And that place is a big place, been around. Yes, I finally did get kicked out of that place and banned. Took me a little while. I had to work at it a little bit. Long story that I'm probably not going to tell. But there's a lot of good people there. And I recently signed up over at a place called the Shave Cadre. And a lot of good people there, looks like. I haven't posted there much. But from the initial post, it's looks like it's going to be a nice little place. Toast 3 is still there. There's not been a couple of people posting, but I still have the lights on over there. And it's still got a lot of good information with single edge and injector. It's tost3.com. And that's the number 3. It's still there. Anybody would like to go, and it still has the link to the original 2 Toast and then Toast 2, which were over on Freeforms, and we had issues with the Freeforms, so we made them to be read-only. It's just an archive, but there's a lot of good information there. Last time I checked, they were still up and running. Getting a little traffic through with people reading. So if you have single edge and injector questions, that's all we do over there. But if you have questions, come over. There's still a couple people checking in. All right, the Schick F on a beard that, even though I trimmed it down some, it's still got plenty of length to it. Like I said, the F was only built for 1 year, right before World War II, because then they needed the aluminum and stuff that you would put in the handles for the airplanes and, other military stuff. I'm telling you, look at that. That's going to work just fine. I tell you, if you razor's a razor, blade's a blade. If the blade's sharp, and if you can hold it and keep constant pressure and angle, you can get a shave. You can shave just about anything. I realize there are some small differences in some blades, but your technique will sort that out. And that's going to be nice. We're going to probably just be able to do our regular our 3-pass shave, 2 lather pass, and we got our witch hazel for our final pass. That's what we're going to do. All right. But anyway, so everything was good in Alexandria last night. It's generally pretty calm up there. In the same little strip mall, they've got one of these escape rooms. The for some reason people like to go to. It's not my thing, but you know, if it's your thing, that's great. Entertainment, and they're open till midnight. So up until midnight, there's a few people that are hanging out in the parking lot and things. But once it gets past that, it's pretty much nothing. You'll occasionally have I don't know if they're homeless people or not, but you'll occasionally have folks riding through on bikes and things like that. We've had very little real problem with that up there, and hopefully it'll stay that way. All right. This thicker hair up on the jawline here is working on that. I think it's going to work out in the end. Get everything about shaped where we want it. We want it shaped like it was. We don't want a big splash out on the side or anything. And the neat thing about going over to Alexandria, we have hurricanes in this part of the world. And we have Interstate 10 that runs out of Texas and back, into Texas too. But anyway, we're concerned about people who are leaving Texas and the coast for a hurricane and going yonder way. So Interstate 10, and then we have an alternate route, which is Highway 190. And they've made it into a nice 4-lane. It's almost an interstate itself. And you could run down 190. What the plan would be is they would do a contraflow, everything going the same direction, going out, and run people down 190 and out the interstate. You can get people evacuated quicker. So I'm able to run 190 out of Baton Rouge to Opelousas, Louisiana. And when I get to Opelousas, I can get on Interstate 49 and go to Shreveport. Now, a good chunk of 190 is 65 miles an hour, which means I drive 70. I like to drive 5 over, always have. And then once you get out on I-49, it goes to 75. So I drive 80. So it's a 2-hour trip, but it's not a particularly bad trip. It clips right along. All right. Well, we're getting there. Now, I know a couple of other razors that have a more aggressive feel to them, and it might have knocked this off quicker, but the truth of the matter is, you can get it done. And generally on the interstate, I haven't had any problem with the idiot driving. Now, this trip, I did have a few idiots. And I don't know if y'all remember, I've told the story before, one of the biggest speeding tickets I ever got was on Interstate 49, going to Shreveport, which is further north than Alexandria. And you have these people that, for some reason, they have no reason to be on an interstate driving. Probably don't need to be driving, period. And they don't hold their speed. There's a wonderful invention. And I guess you have to keep the fluid topped off, maybe. I'm not real sure. It's called a cruise control. And I use mine. And apparently there's a group of people in the world that has no clue what a cruise control is, much less how to use one. So anyway, I ended up with a couple of those speed up, slow down folks. You pass them and you get up a little bit, and then, there they are again, and then they're riding right up next to you when you want to pass somebody. And that's what I did before. I stomped the gas and away we went. And there was a highway patrolman. It was a lieutenant, actually, highway patrolman, and he didn't much think like that. That's many years ago. You have two choices. You either slow down or you speed up. And at that time, my choice would have been to speed up. But anyway, idiots driving are a big deal with me, because I seem to have to deal with a lot of them. I don't know why, but I do. And folks that don't know how to use blinkers, and if you use your blinker, they don't have a clue what you're talking about. But anyway, all right, well, back with the Williams here for another pass. We've got a lot of that stuff knocked off now, which is a good thing. All with a Schick. I know people, well, that thing ain't got no, you can't shave no heavy hair with that. You need a this and you need a that. You're like, no, you just need technique. And that's pretty much what you need. All right. Come across this way, do a little cross the grain thing here. I don't do against the grain. I do across the grain, with the grain. I could get a BBS. BBS is a myth. Now, what I mean by that is, I'm not saying you can't get one, but I do all that extra work, risk the irritation, and if anybody says they don't risk irritation, shaving over an area and going against the grain and doing all that kind of good stuff, I don't think that's true. I think you're risking irritation. And I can do all of that, and 2 hours later, I'm back with the sandpaper feel. So I just don't bother with it. I get a dang fine shave. I mean, nobody's going to walk up to you and reach up and touch your face to see how good your shave is. Well, not but once, maybe. If it looks good, it feels good, it is good. So I don't think that sideburn got to come up a little bit more. But anyway, we're going for a really nice shave, which is what we got here. I'm going to leave it a little longer under the bottom than I used to, just because I am. We'll see how that goes. All right, look at that. Now, before I do my final pass, look at that. Ain't that nice? It's done cleaned that all up. I need to get in front of these ears a little bit, I noticed, but that's generally a place. But what we're going to do is we're going to rinse all this off. And I like to use witch hazel for a final pass. Some of y'all may not know me, but I've been doing that for a lot of years. It helps with any irritation you may have gotten. And I think I can also feel better when if I've missed a spot and I need to go back over it more. Just generic old witch hazel. You can get the Thayer's that's alcohol free and pay all that extra money, and I don't think you do it any good. I like a little alcohol. Oh yeah, good feeling shaving. Like I said, we're gonna come right down in front of my ears. Make sure we got that all cleaned up. So I went back to the doctor, like I was saying. I got back on my diabetic meds, which, being people in the world are on diabetic meds. I haven't been on insulin much before, but now I'm back on insulin. And, but what I was really happy about, I thought I was gaining weight, putting weight back on, but I found out one good thing I was doing, not only was I not gaining weight, but I had actually lost a little weight over the year or so it'd been, or probably more than a year since I've been to the doctor. Look at that. There we go. Fuzzy's back with the goatee. Yeah, all nice and trimmed up. And as I get a couple more shaves in, I'll trim everything up a little better. Make sure everything is sized up. But I think that's going to do right there. Well, it's nice of the folks that comment, and I had a couple of people commented when I signed up over at the Shave Cadre that, they had signed, they knew me from here, and one of them was one of my early subscribers and everything. And it's nice to see that kind of stuff. Fuzzy appreciates it and everything. If you do have questions or you want to know anything about single-edged and double-edged, now that's single-edged safety razors. I realize there are razors out there that are single-edged, but they're unmentionable at Toast. We don't talk about straight razors and stuff like that. However, the razors that are single half of a DE blade, that's different. We talk about those. A shade razor, single half of DE. There are some people that took unmentionables and they ground the side of them off and made them into a shade razor. And not only are those mentionable, but I want to make one of my own. So I've got a certain open comb old two-sided thingy, as I call them, unmentionable, that I want to turn into a shade razor one of these days. Well, there we go. We're going to splash on a little Aqua Velva Ice Blue here. Make it a signature shave. Y'all have a signature shave? I'm sure I'm not the only person in the world, but this shave right here, well, it's close to a signature shave. People are already going to be saying, but Fuzzy, that's not a signature shave, because your signature shave would be with your favorite Jim Jr., and that's true. So it is an almost signature shave, except for the razor. And I'm sure somebody's already screaming about that, so I will correct that. And I will not put signature shave in the description. But anyway, there you go. That's what we got. So we're going to go on about today. I got to work tonight. It's 6 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, but I got to work tonight. But anyway, I got a breakfast date today. So I'll be all freshly shaved, and I'll get showered up, and we'll have a breakfast date. Good coffee. And again, it's in that classic Williams mug. All righty, folks. Well, y'all have a good one. Whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, use your blinkers. Quit making U-turns just anywhere. Use your cruise control on the interstate, or stay out of the way of the people that do. And whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, if you want to bloom something, plant some flowers. Quit blooming them soaps. Happy shaves to you.